Today, we're in Canada, in the province of Saskatchewan, 600 kilometers north of Regina at Lac La Ronge. We're staying at the Trottier cabin on Moore Island, one of the over 1,300 islands on this lake. This has been our home base for many expeditions of the area over the years. We're loading up the boat for an evening of painting. Lac La Ronge is a huge lake, the fifth largest in Saskatchewan. It's over 1,400 square kilometers, or 546 square miles. It's not its size that makes it a great place to paint, but its location. Lac La Ronge is on the southern edge of the Canadian Shield and part of the Church Hill River system, which extends from the Rocky Mountains in Alberta to the Hudson's Bay in Manitoba. The Canadian Shield is one of the world's largest geologic continental shields. It's centered on Hudson's Bay and extends 8 million square kilometers, or 3 million miles, from the Great Lakes to the Canadian Arctic and into Greenland. Over eastern, central, and northwestern Canada, it's the largest mass of exposed Precambrian rock on the face of the Earth. The physical landscape of the Canadian Shield is not so much the result of folding, faulting, and compression of rocks millions of years ago, but the work of ice in relatively recent geologic time. Just over 2 million years ago, the vast continental glaciers that covered North America had this region as a center. The ice scraped the land bare of its overlying mantle of weathered rock as it moved south. Some of the material was deposited on the shield when the ice melted, but most was deposited south and southwest of the Canadian Shield. As a result, most of the surface consists of rocky, ice-smoothed hills with an average height of 30 meters or 100 feet. They contain irregular basins, which are mostly filled by lakes and swamps. Today, we're looking for one of those interesting rock formations to paint from the boat. Paul has one in mind that he saw on a fishing trip that he thinks might make a good location. Although it's rare, it's great to see another boat on the lake. As always, we like to capture as many images as possible for later work in the studio. This outcropping is nice and reminiscent of our time painting the shield at Georgian Bay in northern Ontario, but it's not what we're looking for today. So soon we're back underway. But the wind steals my hat. We'll circle around and see if we can get to it before it sinks. Luckily, it was still afloat. We found the area Paul was thinking of. He likes the orange lichen on the rocks. Setting up in the boat can be a bit of a challenge because of the limited room. It can also be a bit of a challenge to paint when it's a little rough, I've decided that since I'm working on such a small piece, I'll use my lap rather than the easel. Sometimes you need to spend some time just looking and soaking up the vibe of an area. If you're going to paint something, you'll be looking at it for an extended length of time, so you'd better find it interesting. Ken finally decides what he's going to paint and starts to set up. Ken is the first to finish his study of the rock. As he's putting it in his wet paint carrier, he notices the light has broken through the clouds as it's setting. This has lit up the trees on the opposite side of the lake in an amazing bright yellow. It's time to get the cameras out. Now he'll do a small sketch of the amazing scene, while Paul and I finish our canvases. The Canadian Shield is rich in natural resources, including minerals, forests, and fresh water. Mining began in the region in the mid-19th century and has been key to Canada's economic development. The Shield is one of the richest areas in terms of mineral ores. It is filled with substantial deposits of nickel, gold, silver, and copper, as well as uranium and diamonds. The first modern hard rock mine in the Canadian Shield, near Matic, Ontario, opened after gold was found there in 1866. Other gold discoveries were also made in Ontario at Kirkland Lake in 1906, Timmins in 1912, and in Quebec in 1920. Today, the largest concentration of active mines on the Shield, and actually in the world, is located around Sudbury, Ontario. The metals mined there include copper, nickel, gold, and palladium. The Shield also contains major uranium deposits. These can be found at Great Bear Lake in the Northwest Territories, Elliott Lake in Ontario, and here in Northern Saskatchewan. In fact, today Saskatchewan is the sole producer of Canadian uranium, primarily from the Cigar Lake area, which is not far from here. Thanks for watching. Click like, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.